guys, we're down here at Alcoa. We've been waiting for over an hour now. Load's not ready. Typical. Anyway, I thought I'd go over some numbers with you that I got back from the doctor. Kind of give you a baseline of what's going on. I don't know how well these things are going to be. You know, if some of this stuff is as important to what we're doing. Like my sodium was 139, and I'll give you some background. Like I said, back in March, the end of February, I was diagnosed as a diabetic. My A1C when I went to the emergency room was 11.5. A week later, I went to see my doctor. They did the blood work. My A1C had dropped down to a whopping, what was it? 10.6. So they put me on oral medication, taking metformin and sorry, I'm getting it out here. The metformin. And glimepiride. And of course my blood pressure medication, which I've always been taking. I'll give you some numbers from March when all this began, and then a month later in April I had the tests redone, and then like I said last Friday on the 12th I had the blood work done so we can see how well this new whole foods plant-based diet is going to work for us. Okay, starting with sodium. This is all these dates right now will be for the 5th of March. My sodium was 131, which they were considered low, and the proper range for that is 136 to 143. My potassium was 4.0. That was fine. Range for that is 3.5 to 4.7. Chloride, I don't know what the heck that's all about, but it was 96 and it was low. The rate for that was 101 to 111. CO2 was 24, and it's supposed to be between 25 and 33, so it was a little low. Glucose, yeah, it was 291, and you're supposed to be between 70 and 115. Creatine, 0.9, between 0.6 to 1.3, so we're fine there. Calcium, 9.5, that's good, between 9 and 10.6. Protein, here we go, everybody's favorite about being a meat eater and everything. My protein was at 7, and you're supposed to be between 6.3 and 8.3, so that was fine. Again, my A1C on that day, 10.6, and you're supposed to be between 4 and 6. Anything over 6 makes you a diabetic, so just remember that. Anything over 6. Now these numbers could fluctuate according to some different doctors and websites like that, but it could possibly stay under 6. And look, hey, my blood pressure is still kind of up. Look at it was 139 over 89 this while ago. Let's see, cholesterol 325. I'm walking heart attack material right there. You're anywhere, this says between 5 and 120. I think that is a misprint from the doctor's office. I think it's supposed to be 100 to 175 really is a good range to be in. I'm not 100% sure, don't quote me on that, but from all the different people I've talked to and read books and things of that nature, they'd like you to be at 150 or below, which would be excellent. You know, you'd be in great health. My HDL, that's your good cholesterol. That was 40, and that range is from 29 to 71. My triglycerides was 840, and it wants you to be between 35 and 160. LDL, that's your bad cholesterol, was 172, and again it goes from 1 to 150. And then your VLDL, that's a new one for me. I'm trying to figure, that's your body fat. I think it's all your bad cholesterol plus your triglycerides added together. I looked that up. Was 168, and it ranges from 7 to 32 is where you're supposed to be at. And remember, this was March 5th, 2019, when I was having my problems, when I was diagnosed a diabetic. Okay, let's go to a month later, which would be April 5th, 2019. My sodium again was 139. It was perfect. Potassium 4.0, perfect. CO2 was 25, borderline low, but it's right there in the doable section. Glucose was, now that had dropped down from 291 down to 95. So I had done some diet changes, and of course they had me on medication, but I stopped eating. I avoided a lot of sugar at that point. And that was what was going on with that. I don't know if I mentioned the chloride. The chloride was 103, which is where it needs to be. Creatine, again, that was a 0.8. That was fine. Calcium was 9.5, right in the range. Protein, again, 7.2. My A1C was 8.5, so it had dropped 2 points in a month. My total cholesterol was 276, so it had dropped. HDL was 56, it gone up. Triglycerides were 181, they definitely dropped. LDL, bad cholesterol again, was it went up to 184, and then the VLDL was 36.2, which is right where it needs. That's the high end of the marker. Now, for the test that I did on Friday, July 12th, 2019. Sodium 139, potassium 4.0, chloride was 101, CO2 was 30, glucose was back to being high. It jumped from 95 up to 118. Creatine was 0.9, again right there in the range it's supposed to be. Calcium, I was just a tad down, 8.9, and you're supposed to be at 9. Protein 6.9, dropped a little bit. My A1C, baby, dropped down to 6.1. A 0.1 more and I could be classified non-diabetic, which is the goal. So we're going to see how much it drops doing this. Total cholesterol went up a little bit, 279. My HDL, the good cholesterol, went down to 49. My triglycerides shot back up to 300. My LDL is 170, so it went down So it needs to go down about 20 more. And the VLDL shot back up to 60. So again, that's a 32 is the limit on that. But we're going to see how this does. I checked my sugar, I'll give you my readings for this morning for my blood pressure and sugar. At 5:30 this morning, my blood pressure was 136/91, 77 pulse rate. And that's getting straight up out of bed. My blood sugar was 154. 9:45 when I got here to Alcoa, I thought I'd check it again. It was 134/89 with a 96 pulse rate, but I'd taken my blood pressure medicine en route. And for some crazy reason, my blood sugar shot up to 221. Surely it wasn't that cereal that I had for breakfast. But that's my number so far. So hey, I appreciate you guys watching. We'll keep this up, keep you going, let you know the meals that we have. I'm going to keep track of everything I eat. So I'm going to hold myself accountable, and I hope you guys will continue to comment and subscribe. Yeah, there we go. And again, I want to give a shout out and a great big thanks to Suzanne Foxx, Dr. Suzanne Foxx. She's an author of Skinny and Fit and Not Hungry a Bit. I'll put a link down for her book. She's helping me out, so I do really appreciate that, and we'll see how we do. So keep on watching, guys. We'll see the pounds melt away. So we're going to go from fat to fit.